We now know the new formations that are going to be on offense and on defense as a ton of new formations and ton of new plays come to the game for college football 26. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome back into JC CFB, where you can see all kinds of CFB video game content with me, JC, covered all the news in the lead up to College Football 26's release, where I'll hit you with gameplay content once it comes out. So if you're a fan of the game, be sure to hit that subscribe button, stay up to date on all the news, and get a bunch of fun gameplay content. If you're here watching this video, take a second, hit that thumbs up button, help us out with that YouTube algorithm so this can find more college football video game fans like yourself. And if you got any thoughts on anything here in the video, throw them in the comment section. Let me know what you think about some of these new formations that were revealed both offensively and defensively. That's what we're going to hit here. All this coming courtesy of the Gameplay Deep Dive blog. I did a large stream reading through it all, and I wanted to take segments of it out here and hit on it to stuff that just kind of some of my favorite stuff here, some of the more important things in my opinion that, I really enjoy. And probably at the very top of that list, of course, you guys know, for me, huge custom playbook guy. I spend a lot of time doing that. So hearing, over 2,800 new plays and 40 plus new formations into the game was like music to my ears. And not only is it on offense, it's on the defensive side too, as you'll see here in this clip from that live stream. So with no further ado, I'll quit teasing it up. Let's take a look here. Some of the new plays that they're talking about adding to the offensive side, some of the new formations there. And then on the defensive side as well, some new plays and formations that are coming into the mix there. A lot of fun stuff here they'll be able to use in College Football 26. Let's check it out. 2,800 new plays, over 2,800 new plays, I should say, and over 45 new formations, which excites the hell out of me. You guys know I'm always into the custom playbook thing. Then I always like to try and highlight some of my favorite plays that I've put into my custom playbook and have helped me on the game. Did that this year. If you haven't checked that out, you can check that out on the channel, College Football 25 Gameplay Tips playlist. And within that, of course, there are some of my favorite pass plays, some of my favorite RPOs, some of my favorite run plays, and I'm going to have a lot of fun making a playbook. I'll probably spend like the whole first day I have the game doing just that. And then, of course, after that, it'll be tweaking it, narrowing it down. Kind of start off with a bigger playbook and then narrow it down as I see what plays I like, what plays I don't like as I go throughout the season there in my dynasties and online dynasties. But let's get right to it. College Football 26 is delivering the single biggest playbook expansion in EA Sports history. Let's go, man. That's just that sentence alone. If they would have just put that sentence out and nothing else and said, "Hey, would you pre-order the game? Sign me up, man. Don't give a shit. You gave me that, I'm in." That would have got me in right there, hook, line, and sinker. But over 2,800 new plays and over 45 new formations, all tuned to reflect the chaos, creativity, and pageantry that defines Saturday football. Whether you're a fan of tempo and space or ground and pound, there's something in here that speaks directly to the heart of college football. And with the arrival of 300 real head coaches for the first time in the series, we knew this year had to be more than just a content drop. It had to be a true evolution. So we got to work studying game tape, talking to coaches, attending clinics, and above all, listening to the fans. The result? A massive leap forward in authenticity, depth, and team identity. Because when we say every team is someone's favorite team, we mean it, and this year they play like it. More plays, more identity, more you. Playbooks are bigger and deeper than ever. We've increased total capacity by over a third. Most offenses now feature 25 plus formations and over 400 plays, giving you more tools to scheme, adapt, and dominate. Whether you're building around tempo, power, or versatility, there's now a wider foundation to craft a game plan that actually feels like your favorite team. And greater playbook individuality. And this is where, of course, they're going to highlight Penn State's playbook, which I've already heard from people that played the beta, from others, that it's pretty awesome. And I think that's, probably because when you watch Andy Kotelnicki and his scheme, if you know anything about his offense, he always is scheming up some things that like no one's ever seen before to just catch the defense off guard, get him an easy touchdown. You just never know what he's going to bring to the table. And the fact that they've studied that and brought a lot of that into the game with some of those formations, we've seen it highlighted even in the play that they released here. I highlighted this in the video I put on the channel yesterday, of course, as they tease the deep dive, and you're going to have some of that in the game, and you're going to have a lot of different stuff, and they're going to hit on it right here talking about some of that. And personally, I'm excited to see Rich Rod back at West Virginia and see what his offense looks like on the game now that he's actually on the game and they've expanded the playbooks and all that stuff. I can't wait. I'm going to do that's the first Dynasty series I'm doing on the channel is a West Virginia Dynasty series as Rich Rod. using the West Virginia playbook, no custom playbook, playing as Rich Rod. That's what I'm doing. A little tease for that as well. But once you hop into the game, you'll immediately notice the difference between Air Force's flexbone DNA and USC's spread out vertical attack. These aren't just roster based differences, they're true philosophical fingerprints. After months of deep dives and expert insight, every single one of our 136 playbooks was handcrafted to reflect real life play calling and personnel packages. From Miami's modern air raid to Iowa State's power spread, every team has a unique feel, and every user has a real jumping off point to build or customize their identity. Fresh concepts, real wrinkles. Misdirection is king in today's college game. And we've brought that energy to life with new plays like jet power read. Love that because, last year they didn't have it to where you could make the read. They had a power fake jet, but now you can make the read. You can hand off on the jet sweep or you can keep it with the QB. Was missing that play. It was back on its table. 14 was one of my favorite plays, was missing that. And power read toss. Last year, they had the play where you had the fake jet sweep motion and they would toss it to the running back. And when it looked like it, man, the way that the toss was so slow, I was like, they could almost make that a read. And teams use that now. They use that in the RPO game, the fake toss play, and they use that as a read play to where you have a toss read. And then behind that, the quarterback will have a quarterback counter read or sometimes a quarterback zone read. And right here, they've added that to the game. Power read toss. Both of those in my playbook, guaranteed, no doubt about it. You guys know the way I like to play. And with Rich Rod's offense being on the game, I'll probably use the West Virginia offense as my base and build out from there. You've seen teams like Kansas State and Jacksonville State burn defenses with these. Now you can do the same. And as they talk about Jacksonville State right there, that's a shout out to Rich Rod. So, right on cue. And of course, that's what made me think of it as well. That's something that's going to be in the West Virginia playbook for sure. I'm going to see probably all three of those plays they mentioned there, the jet power read toss, and the counter bash, and new motion types. I'm going to eat these up too. You guys know I love the motion plays last year, especially when you utilized that jet sweep motion last year because everyone would, run the hell out of that jet touch pass. So instead of running the hell out of that jet touch pass, I like to use that as a decoy and ran a ton of plays off that motion. And now not only do they have that, they have all kinds of orbit motions, reload motions, bounce motions, escort motions, boomerang motions, and double motions, which we've talked about in the past on the channel, which will help you layer deceptions and keep defenses guessing. These match the complexity of motion-heavy offenses like Kansas, Alabama, and James Madison and offer new creative freedom when dialing up plays. They're going to talk about double motion plays here, but also one thing that I have heard, and I'll hit on here, they might hit on this themselves, but that now when those motions are going on defense, used to be once you hit one of those motions, the play was taken off. You couldn't do anything. You can audible while those motions are taking place now on defense. Double motion plays, which these are sick, guys. For the first time ever, you can move multiple players pre-snap. That means you can mimic the chess match seen in real film from programs like Georgia Tech and Penn State. Whether it's sequential motions or dual motions at once, you can now shape shifts in formation to stress the defense before the snap even happens. And they have this built in some plays where they'll have multiple of the blue motions, that are built in. Some of those even have shift plays that are built in, but also you can do double motions yourself now as well. Expanded QB run and RPO variety. Let's go. You guys know that have watched my gameplay videos. Big time quarterback run guy, big time, like I said, Rich Rod style offense, because that's when I first fell in love with college football was the Pat White, Steve Slayton days. So having Rich Rod back at WVU for this game is music to my ears with some of the stuff they've added to the playbook, it sounds like. Let's talk about it here. Quarterbacks are the centerpiece of modern offenses, and they're evolved more than ever. From old school veer reads and modern pop passes to sprint out options and design QB powers, your signal caller now has the full menu. Notre Dame, Utah, and dozens of other teams now feature playbooks where the quarterback truly runs the show, literally. Smarter option routes. We've overhauled route logic and schemes like the run and shoot and veer and shoot. Receivers now read leverage, identify cap defenders, and react to middle of field safety structure. That means better decision making for user QBs and more realism on every throw. This new logic also fuels option routes across concepts like halfback choice, house wide juke, and slot option, which that's music to my ears as well, because I use a lot of, I'm heavy run team, but a lot of my pass plays I have are either RPOs or the run and shoot plays where they have multiple options for the receivers on the routes. And sometimes they didn't really read those properly in 25. Glad to hear they've improved those mechanics to where the receivers now read the leverage and identify cap defenders, react to middle of the field safety structure as well. That's big. Gadget packages by formation. College football always has that guy, the do-it-all athlete who lines up everywhere. With our new gadget depth chart slot, you can now sub that player into specialized packages across multiple formations. Whether he's taking a snap at Wildcat quarterback or motioning from slot to tailback, he's now a true chess piece. Man, where was this when Tavon Austin was on the game at West Virginia, right? That's when I could have used this. But now I can use, Jaheim White there, you know what I'm saying? Which I saw a leaked list that he's in the top 100 fastest players in the game, 94 speed, more like it. They had him too slow on 25, but the gadget player is going to be fun on 26, guys. That's now a position you can, give somebody. You can signify them to be your Wildcat QB, probably your slot guy that takes your jet sweeps, in motions into the backfield on your option plays. It's going to be fun. Signature looks from the real 2024 season. We've gone beyond just new plays. They've added authentic packages and bizarre formations that defined Saturdays last fall and made them playable in College Football 26. Here are a few highlights. Penn State shotgun gate. Stretch the edge, freeze linebackers, and create backside cutback lanes. It's misdirection in motion and mirrors how Penn State oh, man. Today, Junior, I couldn't get that one out. How Penn State weaponized horizontal flow all season long, which that's what you got to like about, Penn State's offense is all the crazy stuff they do. With this, you're going to see linemen lined up out wide in that Penn State playbook. I'm telling you guys, you're going to see Penn State played with a lot on college football, on the road to college football playoff because of their playbook and because they have two really good running backs as well. Penn State swing gate variants. Yes, it's finally here. Run screens, jet touch passes, or misdirection fakes from the same funky gate look. This set even includes dual QB packages, wildcat looks, and offensive lineman slot alignments, as I was talking about there. They'll send that offensive lineman back to, crack back block to lead block there in motion, and you can guarantee some of those Penn State formations are going to be in my playbook there. Ole Miss Wildcat dual wing. Snap it directly to your defensive tackle? Absolutely. The Rebels did it over 20 times last season, and now you can too. Power halfback, gadget, or tight end can also sub in to keep defenders guessing. That's cool formation as well. That'll be something you can use goal line short yardage, right? I like that. A lot of these are going to be in my playbook, at least starting out, and if I like them or not and how they work for me, because, that's one thing that I did last year when they did the playbook updates, which they did, 2 or 3 of those, and I had some really fun stuff. Add them, see if I like them. If I don't, take them back out. Rice pistol wingback. The option lives in Houston. This formation group blends flexbone motion with pistol spread tempo. It includes 11 total wingback sets, a dream for users who love mixing triple option with quick game. That's awesome, because I thought the pistol, kind of triple option pistol formations in 25 were really lacking from what they used to be on 14, so that they've added more of those because of how Rice utilizes them in their offense. That's cool as well. The Western Kentucky Power Eye Hulk. Big boy football. So as they said, it's not just spread stuff and everything they've added here. They're trying to add everything that they see, even teams that utilize more under center stuff like this. Big boy football, 2 defensive linemen lead blocking. Fullbacks leaking on play action. If you want to go downhill, this set rewards you with short yardage dominance and surprise deep shots. Another short yardage formation there. ECU trips off. I'm sorry. Let's start that over. Rewind the tape. ECU trips off over weak, an unbalanced formation with layers. Use the off-ball tight end as a motion blocker or RPO threat. Teams like ECU and Kansas ran it very differently, and you'll feel their styles reflected in each team's playbook. So they may have the same formation, but ECU is going to play it differently than Kansas plays it. So that's one thing that you get as an added bonus. When you get the coaches on the game, not only do we get the coaches, now they do a bit better job with the tendencies because, hey, they're like, hey, we're reflecting the real life coaches now. Duke wide Y-off trip stack. A new evolution of the veer and shoot built off 11 new wide formations, including stack looks that stretch defenses sideline to sideline while delivering vertical options and quick RPOs underneath, used heavily by Duke. This group gives you horizontal stress with vertical teeth, and I loved the wide formations last year. There was 2 or 3 of them that I ended up keeping in my playbook and had some really good run plays out of, particularly the buck sweep out of one of them was one of my favorite run plays on the game. So more wide formations in the game does not upset me at all. And these aren't just new plays. They're a living, breathing tribute to everything that makes college football so electric. Innovation, identity, and the pure joy of doing something a little wild just to see if it worked. Your team plays like your team in College Football 26. So new defensive formations added. This year's game features several new defensive formations tailored to modern college football's offenses. These new looks are designed to improve your defense's ability to adapt to spread, to create pressure, and better defend run in the pass. 3-4 tight is one of the new defensive formations. It's a variation of the 3-4 odd. This formation moves both defensive ends into the 4-eye technique, so there's your difference there, aligning them on the inside shoulder of the offensive tackles. This adjustment helps strengthen B-gap integrity and gives players a better structure to combat interior run plays. And then 3-3-5 flex features 3 down linemen and an edge defender standing in a 2-point stance to the strong side. This look uses 4-man spacing while retaining the versatility of 3 linebacker setup. It's well suited to defending spread offenses while maintaining pressure potential. I like 3-3-5 flex. I'm a 3-3-5 guy myself, usually on the game. Nickel single mug and nickel 2-4 single mug. These formations position a single linebacker directly over the center in a mug alignment, so it's not a double mug, but a single mug. This alignment forces the offensive line to account for every defender at the line of scrimmage and can trigger one-on-one blocking across the board. The 2-4 variant adds 2-point stance edge defenders for a more hybrid linebacker look. These are especially effective when paired with the new defensive line stunts available in the play call menu. Especially, you got 2 of your edge defenders in 2-point stance in the single mug formation. You got a stunt called. I like that. Nickel load and nickel 2-4 load. Load fronts align 3 defensive linemen to one side of the center, creating immediate pressure challenges for the offensive protections. Like the single mug sets, the 2-4 load formation features edge defenders in 2-point stances, reinforcing linebacker-heavy aesthetic and enhancing play calling flexibility. These formations work especially well with the new stunt-based plays, and I like these 2-4 variants because that helps combat, those spread offenses they're talking about, get you more linebackers on the field, but still have the ability to have them there in the box on the line, but they can drop into coverage if you need. Returning formations. Several formations familiar to Madden players have also been added to College Football 26, expanding the playbook with more variety and situational versatility. So these will be new to me because I'm not a Madden guy. Nickel 2-4, nickel 2-4 double mug, and dime load week, formerly dime sugar week. Some new plays. Hey, let's hit on these. I like hearing about new plays, if you guys can't tell, even if they're on defense. The team still created a number of plays with built-in stunt logic to provide ready-made options that pair naturally with the new formations introduced earlier. These plays were designed specifically to attack common offensive protection schemes and enhance pressure concepts from various fronts. Below is a sample of new plays that incorporate default defensive line stunts. Oh, so you don't even have to make the adjustment. These ones already have stunts built in. Linebacker DN twist 3 out of 2-4 load mug. DB blitz text 3 out of 2-4 single mug. DT Mike loop 3 out of 2-4 single mug. 1 linebacker cross games out of 2-4 load. DB blitz text 3 out of single mug. DT Mike loop 3 out of single mug. Linebacker DE twist 3 out of load mug. Linebacker cross games out of the load O. Linebacker 3 seam games out of load. Double wide receiver 1 out of load 1. So I guess that's an automatic double team play that's in the playbook. That's sweet. You don't have to make an adjustment. Wide receiver 1's killing us. Let's call double wide receiver 1. Linebacker cross games out of load 1. Mug blitz text 3 out of rush. Mug sim pressure out of rush. Mug DT loop 1 out of rush. Cornerback bench blitz out of 3-3-5 over flex. Linebacker 3 seam games out of 2-4 load. Linebacker cross games out of 2-4 load O. I love that they've added this in here because some of us, maybe we'll be able to call them, while we call certain plays and add those stunts to them. But also something for those of us that aren't able to do it pre-play, or maybe our hands aren't quick enough, just go ahead and call a play with a stunt built in. And some of these plays will probably be pretty good plays on the game, I'd say. In addition to these pressure-based plays, this year's playbook includes new bracket coverage concepts designed to help defenses account for the offense's top receiving threats. Awesome. So you need to double a receiver. That's like that double wide receiver 1 play we're talking about. I'm sure that's going to have bracket coverage involved. You got a real speedy receiver. You want a bracket coverage, all those things. And those plays are now available in nickel over, nickel 2-4, and nickel 3-3 over. And they reflect improvements to the game's bracket logic system. The new bracket plays are one double the slot, 1 double the tight end. So you can bracket the slot, you can bracket the tight end, double bracket switch, and bracket switch Willie. So there you have it. Exciting stuff. As you can tell, my hype level for this, you guys know, like I said, this is my favorite thing probably is plays, playbooks, formations, all that kind of stuff. So if it's up your alley, be sure to hit that thumbs up button as well. Help this with the YouTube algorithm. Help this find other people that are fans of playbooks and plays and formations like you and I here that are watching this video. And if you're a fan of the game in general, be sure you're subscribed here to the channel to stay up to date on all the news and the lead up to its release. And like I said, throw your thoughts in the comments there. Let me know what you think about some of these new formations added to both the offense and defensive side. I'd really appreciate that, just like I appreciate you tuning into this video, and I will catch you on the next one.